I'd like to take a moment to talk a little bit about the wind and the rig and the encounter. You know, I've been at this for 40-some years, getting close to 50 now. And all of those years, yes, I've learned some things, but I don't claim to know all the answers, and I'd just like to relate a few things about how the rig encounters the wind. And we are, as we windsurf and we foil with windsurfing rigs, we are in a way asymmetric. I compare it to a wing. The new wing sports, of course, those are symmetric wings and the mirror image. But as we windsurf, we're asymmetric. We have a wing that's rooted onto a board, foil or fin. And that's quite different from symmetric wings. And the encounter of the rig with the wind, I've learned over these years that we do need to have a certain amount of twist. The roots of that are, of course, in the cutaway and opening up the top. But for different disciplines, we have different designs, and they all are share similarities in that they're made up of curves and shapes and curves. It's the curves that make up most of the design. Okay, the batten systems, the mast, how the sailor puts them together. But my job is to find the curves that animate rigs. And to do that, I experiment. I do build prototypes. We send design info to China. We get prototypes also from China. And we make modifications of the curves, luff curve, vertical shapes, horizontal shapes, the releases. And we find ways to improve. And one thing I've learned over the years is, well, okay, we had this moment back in the early 80s when we became more conscious of how the leech opened up top. And that was important to allow the sail to breathe, spill wind, and become slippery. And one of the biggest differences, maybe the biggest difference between rigs back then and rigs now for racing, is the lower leech on modern designs. Lower leech numbers are much more open, released in the lower leech than they were back when windsurfing started. What does that do? That allows the leech twist to not only be located at the top, where we made progress so many years ago, but it also brings the leech release down lower toward the boom. And now the exhaust begins very low in the sail, and that works wonderfully for downwind oriented speed sails, slalom sails. That contrasts with rigs that are designed to go upwind, for example, the raceboard rigs. There is release in the lower leech in the raceboard, but it's nothing like it is on speed sails and slalom sails. So it's fascinating for me to understand how these parameter changes impact the designs, and I'm very happy to bring the fruit of all of that work to Loftsails users.